Hi everyone, welcome to episode 40 of the Arieknits podcast. My name is Ariel and this is a knitting podcast where I talk about all the things that I am knitting, so things that I'm working on, things that I have future plans for, finished objects, and honestly I think now that spinning is something that I really enjoy. It's been only I think like 2 weeks maybe, but yeah, I think that I am in my like spinning era. So there'll be, I think, lots of talks about spinning as well on here now too, but definitely still a lot of knitting, lots of yarn, and all of that good stuff. So yeah, today it is Saturday, August 19th, and it has been 2 weeks. So now there are 2 weeks worth of things that I want to talk about. Also, lots of acquisitions in this video because I was holding on to it because the past couple episodes were just kind of like, the last one I filmed was the flock one, everything about flock, and so I had some other acquisitions that would have otherwise been in that episode, but since I was going to be talking about flock, I just kept the acquisition section for that to be about my flock acquisitions. So I have I have more things to talk about as far as acquisitions go as well. So there's going to be lots of catching up, I feel like, on this video. I feel like it's been a while since I've talked to you all and filmed something, even though it has been only 2 weeks, but I do really enjoy the cadence of weekly videos because, again, I feel like some weeks there's just a lot of things that happen, and I feel like my memory is just kind of like all over the place, and so that's why I have lots of notes for when I film these, because there's just so much that goes on and I can't remember everything. But I think we've got everything ready and good for today's episode. So as always, we will start with what I am wearing today. And I am wearing the Moonset Tee by Ozetta. This was a finished object, I believe was in the last video, but I'm finally wearing it so you can see what it looks like on me. The yarn I used for this was Coast to Coast yarn in the signature sock base in the colorway Red Panda. I love this colorway so much. I know that so I bought this when it was in pre-order for the, forget what she called it, but it was kind of like the favorites collection, like she was bringing back colorways. I don't think she called it favorites, I think she called it something else, I forget. But then there was like an in-stock update after that, which had some Red Panda, and I was wanting to get more Red Panda, but then I kind of decided not to, and then because I was like unsure, I got the times mixed up, which maybe was good, maybe I did it on purpose so that I didn't buy more Red Panda, but maybe at some point in the future I will want to get this colorway again. So yeah, so that's Red Panda. I love this colorway. I made size extra small. I used US 2 size needles to make this, and final measurements for this, I got 34 inches in circumference, and I believe that for the size extra small, on the pattern it's supposed to be 36 inches, so mine's ended up 2 inches smaller in circumference, but honestly, it's fine with me because it gives me 4 inches. Right now, this gives me 4 inches of positive ease, and I really like how it fits, so I will, when I make this again, I will probably just go with the same needle size and everything. So yeah, so I will stand up now so you can see what it looks like on me. Here it is. You can see the huge crease on the side from how I blocked it. But I like that it is not tight, but there is definitely like room. I feel like 4 inches of positive ease is good for a top like this, for me, like how I like it to fit. So this is kind of a good reference for me, 4 inches for like a tee, I seem to like. And then I also like that the sleeves aren't like overly big, like they're just like, they're not like fitted, but because you can see that there's some there's a bit of a gap here, but I really like also how the sleeve fits on this for me. So yeah, I believe that I knit the body longer than the pattern says. I don't have I didn't measure it, I just kind of knit until, honestly, so I knit the sleeves, I finished the sleeves first before I finished the body because I wanted to just use up as much yarn as I could for this, because I think yardage wise for the pattern I was going to be short, but I figured that there was probably some kind of for the yardage for patterns, sometimes they'll give like an extra little bit just to make sure, and so I figured I would be okay. I used 2 skeins and I pretty much used it all for this top, and the final body length I really like, so it's not cropped on me. I would say it is definitely goes below my belly button, and I just really like how it turned out. So yeah, all's good with this moonset tee. It's been something that I've been wanting to make for a really long time, and so I'm really glad that I now have it and can wear it, and that it is still, the weather still is good for wearing knitted tees. So yeah, so that is what I'm wearing today, and we are going to move on to finished objects. I surprisingly have 1 finished object for this week. I did not think it was going to be a finished object this week, but then I just really powered through because I just really wanted to finish it. They're actually still a little damp because I washed them last night. I finished this last night right after work. So I believe I talked about these in last week's video. Yeah, not last week, but the last video. Okay, these are the Thursday sock. So I used the Thursday sock pattern by Sarah Opie, and the yarn I used was Tiny Human Knits, the self-striping yarn. It was from the Lord of the Rings collection. The colorway is called Potatoes, which is just so cute. And these, if you've been watching from previous videos, maybe I don't know, a few months ago, these may look familiar because I also made, so I already made these socks a few months ago for myself. And this pair of socks, I wanted to make matching pairs of socks for me and my boyfriend, and so these are my boyfriend's socks. It took me a very long time to make these from when I made my own socks, but they are finally done right in the middle of summer, but it's okay. They are done. I am happy. I was able to use up, when I bought this yarn, I bought the 100-gram version of the yarn. At the time I was and I wasn't planning honestly on making my boyfriend socks, but I bought the 100-gram because that's just what I'm normally used to. But then I was like, wait, I don't use a full 100 grams of yarn to make socks for myself. So I was like, I want to use self-striping yarn is I don't know if other ways you could maybe use it if you have leftovers, but I really just wanted to use it to make socks, and so I decided to use the rest of the skein that I had to make my boyfriend matching socks, and I thought it'd be cute anyway. And yeah, so this is it. I think it came out really nice. I got the stripes to pretty much match both on these socks and my pair of socks, and I used up pretty much all of the yarn. It also came with a mini skein, which is what I used for the heel and the cuff, and I also pretty much used up all of that. So I feel very happy with my yarn usage on these socks, and I did not really work at it, but I did plan to use up most of it and the reason why I used the Thursday sock pattern is because it is a toe up sock pattern, and I feel that way it's a lot easier to measure out and to make sure things are even between socks, and to just measure out the yarn so that you can use up as much as you can. So yeah, I'm very happy with how these came out, and they fit him well. I made the size 4 in this pattern, and I used US 1 needles to make it. I think as of right now, I like US 1 needles to make my socks. I feel I like the like density and gauge it gives me for socks. So I do want to experiment at some point on knitting socks on like a US 0 needles, but I don't have a US 0 needles. I don't think I do. So maybe because, and I say this because I'm pretty sure with my sock, so I didn't measure the gauge on these, but with my socks, my gauge was bigger than the pattern, but I didn't have a smaller needle size, and US 1 is usually, at least for this year, it's my sock needle. So I just went with it, and so I ended up going a size down versus the like inch circumference for the foot for the sock. If that makes sense? Because my gauge was bigger. So I'm pretty sure I made size 3, and these are size 4. But the measurements I got, I think, were bigger than what they say for these sizes, but they both fit our feet, respectively, which is all that really matters, I think. But yeah, oh, and then also, I don't know if I've mentioned this when I talked about my version of these socks, because I remember after I filmed, like, oh, I forgot to say that I made a modification to this pattern. The cuff, I did a 2x2 rib instead of a 1x1 rib, just because my 1x1 rib, I just don't really like how it looks. I prefer a 2x2 rib. I think for most, I don't want to say for most things, but definitely for these, I was like, I just want a 2x2 rib. I don't like my 1x1 rib for cuffs. I just think the way I knit it just looks ugly. I don't know. So, but that is my one modification I made to these socks. Yeah, I am happy these are done, and that now me and my boyfriend can match once the weather gets cool enough to wear socks indoors. So yeah, so these are my one finished object. Moving on to works in progress. Oh, of course, I left my Big Cozy Cardi. I feel like this will be a thing now. Big Cozy Cardi will be the first work in progress I talk about every episode until it's done, which I hope is not boring because it's still going to take me a long time to finish. So let me get it really quick. Okay, we're back with the Big Cozy Cardi. I don't know how I forgot to bring this. Maybe because it's just so massive, and honestly it just hides under my desk in my room because it's just massive. Okay, so this is once again a progress update just to keep myself accountable and to get myself to work on this every week. Big Cozy Cardi. Pattern by Andrea Mowry. It's going to be a really, really great thing to wear when it gets cold, but it's just massive. The yarn I'm using is La Bien Aimée Merino Twist base in the colorway Jinju for the body, like the main body of this, and then for the Surrey collar, which is the section I'm working on currently, is Autumn and Indigo. Surrey Silk in the colorway Rosewood, which is a really nice like dusty pink color. And I will just show you where my marker is for where I was from the last video. So this is my 2 weeks worth of knitting. I got maybe like an inch and a half. So we are over halfway done with the Surrey collar. It needs to be 13 inches long, I am pretty sure. And I think right now I'm like 9.5 inches or something like that. So we are over halfway, but there is still a lot to go. A lot to go. And then after this, I still have to do the small like arm cuffs. It's not really sleeves, but it's like because the armhole is right here. But anyway, I just have to do, I think, I didn't look at the pattern, but I still have to do those, but I think it should be less knitting. Not too bad, but yeah, this Surrey collar, it's going to be so cozy, as the name of the pattern suggests. But there is a lot, it's just a lot of knitting. It will get done. It will get done this year. Probably it'll take me until it finally gets cold enough to wear, which is good because then I will happily finish it and then wear it right after. So I am looking forward to that. I am knitting size 1, and again, this is just crazy to me because this is the smallest size and it's just so much knitting. And I am using US 3 needles to knit this. So that is, sorry, there's really not too much to show besides just like all of this. I am worried, I don't really use needle stoppers, but I do have needle stoppers on this because I don't want any of my stitches to come off, because if I were to hold it like this, I don't know, I am just worried that it's just so heavy that if I held it up wrong, that all the stitches might just like come off. So I'm very careful about this project and the stitches on it. So yeah, so this is my Big Cozy Cardi progress. I think that's all the details. Sorry if this is a broken record, because I talk about it every week, and has it been months? Has it been 2 months? Has it been longer than 2 months? Maybe 3 months? I don't know. I don't know when I started this, but it's been a while. Okay, so there's that progress. Next one I have is another large-ish project. I actually really love knitting on this, which maybe is surprising, or maybe not surprising, because to me it makes sense. This is my half and half triangles wrap, patterned by Pearl Soho, and it is, if you don't know about this pattern, it's a free pattern on Pearl Soho, and it is just a garter stitch. It's just garter stitch, but it is like a triangle. Well, it's a square, but the 2 colors are triangles that you work, 1 color at a time. And so, I don't know, I've held it up, but I can't, when I hold it up in front of my face, I can't see if you can see like the bottom of it, maybe. So yeah, so this is how much I have. So I finished the half with, the variegated yarn that I use, which is Coast to Coast yarn signature sock base in the colorway Yucca Blossom. And then the second color I'm using is also Coast to Coast yarn signature sock in the colorway Biscuits, which is this really pretty brown, and I think it looks cute together. And yeah, I'm still on the first skein of this colorway. I haven't measured my yarn yet for Yucca Blossom, but I think it maybe used like 1.5 or maybe a little over 1.5 skeins, and so I still have this much left of Biscuits in my first skein, and so I still have lots of knitting to do. And I think what's fun, or what's interesting, is that when you work the first color, you do it from like the full width to smaller. So as you work the rows stitches, you work less, and so it goes by faster as you keep knitting on it. But for this one, you do it the opposite way, where you start with the small corner of the triangle, and then you start adding more stitches. So I am now in the part where it just feels like the rows are getting, because they are getting longer and longer. So I still can fill in the blanks. You can see the shape of this on how much more knitting I have to do. But I am pretty proud of how much I have gotten done on this so far. And this was my car knitting for my trip to Portland last weekend, and so I did get a lot of it done during then, which was nice. And yeah, I am making size big, which is the smallest size in the pattern, but it's super adjustable for how many stitches you want to cast on, so you can make it any size you want. But yeah, this one is 190 stitches for a cast on, which is the width. So yeah, that's how it's going so far. I think that this marker right here is where I was last, and so you can see how much I worked since the last time I talked about it. It's pretty good progress. I do really like working on this, and I think I've said this before, but I have like, well, now with some acquisitions, I have like three more half and half triangle wraps that I want to make, just because there's like color combinations that I think would be so cute with this. So I might be crazy, I don't know, but I was thinking about casting on another one of these at the same time, but I want to finish this one first, you know, block it, see how big it gets, and kind of like maybe use it and just kind of see how I can either wear it or like use it as a lap blanket, which is also another like use case besides just like as a wrap or a scarf. So I kind of want to see how it works first before I cast on another one, because I may change how many stitches I cast on, and so I just kind of want to see how that all works out. So yeah, I am using US 3 needles. I feel like US 3 needles I've been using a lot in my knitting lately, so I do like a pair of, is this small for other people? I think I like projects that use US 3 needles for some reason, so yeah, so that is the half and half triangles wrap. Okay, next, oh, I have an exciting update with my gown cardigan. Uh-oh, I think I just dropped, I forgot that I had, oh no, here it is. Okay, I currently have this project. I am seaming it. I'm not done yet, but I don't know how to hold this while I have like the yarn on this darning needle. Okay, so anyway, oh, it smells so good because I also washed it because I'm seaming it. Do most people do that? I know in pattern instructions, if you're going to seam something together, they recommend to wash and block it first so that things kind of lay flat and in the correct like dimensions before you sew it together. I feel like sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. This time I decided to do it, but oh, I see what's happening. Okay, but yeah, I used a Sorella wool wash to wash this, and it smells so good, and yeah, it kind of makes seaming this not as torturous because I'm like, ooh, it smells so good. Okay, so I think I've got it now where I can like hold up what I have. So I finished the back and the two fronts. Last time we talked, and I think I have a stitch marker here. Yes, okay, so last time we talked, I was working on the right front panel, which is right here. It's the side that has the buttonholes. And where's the stitch marker? Oh, it's right here. So last time, and it's worked bottom up, and so I was here, and so I worked all of this from the last time, and then it is a 3 needle bind off to connect the front to the back. And I really enjoyed how because the button band is worked at the same time as you knit the fronts, which I very much prefer. I'm okay with seaming things, kind of. Like, it's not my preferred way to do things, but I'm okay with seaming like the sides of things together, or even like sleeves, although that's also not my favorite. But I really, really don't like seaming button bands. Like, to knit button bands separate and then have to seam it along the entire, that I really, really don't like. I would just much prefer to avoid. But for this one, the button band is worked at the same time as the fronts, and I was curious to see how it would connect in the back. And I guess I don't want to, since it's a paid pattern, I don't really want to like spoil how it's done. I have no idea what would make sense for me to share or not, so I will just say, like, I'll just show you what it looks like. And I really enjoyed how the button band was worked to connect to the back portion from the front. Like, it was very nice, and I feel like it has a really clean and nice finish. I really like it. So that was a huge plus and very nice. Okay, So now what I am working on is seaming together the sides up until under the armhole, which for me is right here. So I started that on one side. I've gotten some ways done, and it's also looking real nice. Like, I am surprised I got it to look pretty continuous. Can you see it? The seam is right there. Let me pull it so you can see. It's a 3x1 rib. Is that how you would say? But look how seamless that looks. It looks really good, I think. Right there. So I'm very proud of that. We're gonna like keep on going. We're gonna keep on going. My goal is to get the seaming done this weekend so that I can start on the sleeves. And yeah, I'm really excited. I feel like this cardigan is going by faster than I was anticipating in the beginning. So it's all been really good. And now that I've like talked everything about it and just said nothing about the details of like the pattern and who it's by. So again, this is the Gown Cardigan by Suman Dao Baudre on Instagram. And the yarn I am using is Explore Knits Denali Sock in the colorway Drift. And also, again, like, I am really, really loving how the colorway is matching the pattern. Like, I feel like lately I've been really liking my choices for like yarn colors to patterns, and I just think this will be a really cute cardigan color. So yeah, and then I am making size 1, and I am using US 4 needles to make this, and yeah, it's just overall been really, really good and enjoyable to work on. So yeah. Oh, what happened with one of my stitches here? Anyway. Okay, so I'm trying to think, is that all I had to say about this? I don't know, I'm really excited about working on this, so yeah, next order of business for this is seam up the sides, and then I can work on the sleeves, so that should be pretty fun. I just love how this is draping also, like right now. It's gonna be so good. Okay, so that is my gown cardigan. All right, next. Oh, one more thing about the gown cardigan. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I originally saw or like noticed this pattern because some of my friends on Instagram, I saw like they test knitted it, and so I was looking through all of the tester photos, and I was like, they all look so good. So that's how I discovered this pattern. And then another fun note is that if you watch Hannah G Knits on, so she has an Instagram, of course, and also YouTube podcasts, kind of, or YouTube videos, and I really like watching her videos. I haven't like caught up to everything as of lately, but I really enjoy her videos, and she is also making a gown cardigan, and we're kind of like similar color vibes for ours, which was unplanned, but very excited about it. I think it's really fun. So yeah, so that's the cardigan that I am working on. Okay, next work in progress. This is my Best Vest, which is a pattern by James & Watts, and this is my first pattern from James & Watts, and so far it's going well. And what else? Okay. Oh yes. So the yarn I'm using for this is from Big Little Yarn Co. And I am using this Superwash Merino DK base in the colorway Maggio, which is from the Studio Ghibli collection pre-order from like a few months ago or something. I am knitting the size extra small. I believe US 5 needles was for the ribbing, and then the US 7 needles is for the body, because that is what I am using right now. And from the last time, so I think last time I showed this on the podcast, I was just done with the ribbing at the bottom. Oh, this is worked bottom up, by the way. But yeah, I think I was done with the ribbing last time, and so now I'm working on the stockinette body, which has just been really nice, and I really like how this colorway is working up. I just love that it's like, it is a purple colorway, but it has so much depth to the color because there are like blues in there. And it's really pretty. Like, I really, really like how it's coming out. So I am very excited for this as well. And because it's worked in DK weight yarn, the project's going by really fast, and I'm really looking forward to kind of like a quick win on this one, just because I have other like massive projects using fingering weight yarn. So I am looking forward to kind of getting this one done quickly. And I will say the one thing that I did for this, I don't know if you'd call it a modification. It's just for the ribbing at the bottom. When I do 1x1 rib, I much prefer how my ribbing looks on the wrong side than it does on the right side for some reason. And I don't know if like which of the stitches, like I don't know if my knit stitch is tighter or if it's my purl stitch that is tighter, but maybe if I show you. So this is what my 1x1 rib looks like on the right side of when I'm ribbing. And I feel like it just looks extra, like there's so much space in the, where the V is for the knit. There's too much space in between. I much prefer the V of the knit stitch to be close, which is what I get on the wrong side, like this. Maybe it looks the same. So again, this is my wrong side 1x1 rib, and then this is the right side of my 1x1 rib at the top here. I just think it looks more defined of a knit and purl on the wrong side. I just like how it looks better. So what I did for this one was I worked the 1x1 rib, and then I like turned my work around so that the wrong side of my rib becomes the right side, just because I like how it looks better. So that's all I did. And yeah, so it's been working out well. Since it's stockinette right now, it's been a good project to work on and just kind of like watch TV or something. So I have been enjoying working on this. The point that I'm at right now is I finished up one skein, and so I did skein up, or I did, wind up my second skein. So we will get to that maybe this weekend. I will probably work on it this week. Not sure about this weekend because I have some other fun projects that I'm working on, which, yeah, now it's time to get to. Okay, so my next work in progress, which is a new cast on that you haven't seen yet on the podcast, is okay, that pause was really long, so sorry. So I cast on an Air Tee, which is by Ozetta, and here it is. You may have seen it on my Instagram if you follow me there, because I've posted it on my stories. Because like this morning I went to get my car serviced, and I always bring knitting with me when I go there because I do wait there for my car. And so this was what I was working on there this morning. So also it's on smaller needles, so that's why the body is like really scrunched up on the needles. But this is, again, the Air Tee by Ozetta. I am using Big Little Yarn Co. in the base Organic Wool Linen Fingering, which this is the first time I used this yarn base, and I think it'll be really good as like a, well, I'm curious as how it will do for a warm weather top to wear, because there is wool in it, and it's not, also I think it's the first time I've knit something with linen in it. So this will also be interesting. I heard that after you wash linen, it feels a lot different, and so I'm very curious about that. But yeah, overall it's been a nice knit. The yarn isn't necessarily, it feels very different. It feels like not, I wouldn't say scratchy really, but it's different. It's different than kind of like your normal superwash wool yarn. So, but I am very much enjoying this. I have been wanting to knit some kind of top like a tee with this yarn for a while. Oh, the colorway is Nudie Kabe. Don't know if that's how you pronounce it. It's from the Yokai collection from Big Little Yarn Co. So it's been a few collections ago, and it's like this blue pink variegated colorway. And I can also show you the back. Oh, because the back is where kind of like the cool detail is. There's some at the top back. It's worked horizontally, and then it goes down for the body. So that's kind of cool. But I saw Big Little Yarn Co. So Mel of Big Little Yarn Co. also has a YouTube channel, and I either watched one of her I did watch her latest videos, but maybe she also posted on her Instagram that she also made this tee. I think she might have test knitted it, and I'm pretty sure she used this same base but in a different colorway to make it, and I was like, it looks really cute, and since it worked out for her, I feel like the base should work out for me to make the same tee. And so that's pretty much, I think, when I cast this on. I am making size extra small. I am using US 3 needles. There it is, another project using US 3 needles. And again, yeah, I'm just really happy about how this is working up. It's very interesting construction, and yeah, right now I guess you can see how far under the arms I am right now. So I'm just working in the round now. I am alternating skeins, or I have been alternating skeins, both like working flat and also in the round, so doing some helical knitting there, and yeah, it's working out really nicely. So that is one of my new cast-ons. And then I have another new cast-on, which I cast on last night because I had this inspiration for this yarn and pattern combo, and I just like immediately had to cast on. And since I finished those socks yesterday, I felt okay with having another new cast on. So this is, it might be a little hard to show on the needles, I don't know. This is my new cast on. It is the May Drop Tee by Emma, Bloom and Create. And if when I first saw the pictures of this tee on her Instagram, I was like, I could not wait for this pattern to come out. I like kept an eye out because I knew I really wanted to make it. And then the next thing was just when it came out, I was like, I just don't know what yarn to knit this in. And then yesterday I just had this, I don't know, I was looking in my stash and I was like, oh, I think this would be a good color combo. But yeah, okay, so first things first, May Drop Tee by Emma of Bloom and Create. I am knitting size 2, and I'm using US 3 needles again. I feel like now I've used up all of my US 3 needles on projects. And this is worked bottom up, and so this is the bottom of the tee, but I'm just holding it up here so that I can like flatten it, and so you can see the pattern a little more because it's just kind of like curled up at the bottom here. So, but this is the bottom of the tee. Look at this color work. It's been a while, I think, since I've done a color work type of project because it's not really my favorite thing to do. But when there's something that's really cute, I just like bear through it just so I can get that finished object. So yeah, this is what it looks like. I powered through this because I wanted to finish the chart. The color work is just at the bottom, which is also good for me because I don't want to do that much color work. So I just finished the color work before filming this video. So yeah, this is how it looks. And I was inspired by these colorways for this yarn color combination because I was looking back at the Emma's pictures of her samples for this pattern, and so she has 2 views for this pattern. I believe view A is the one that has 3 colors, so 1 main color and 2 contrast colors, and then view B is the one that has 1 main color and 1 contrast color. And so her version for view B has a very similar color vibe to here with what I chose here, which was like a variegated it looks speckled or just like variegated dark pink main color and then a lighter contrast color for the color work. And I was like, I think I have some yarn that would be great for this, because I also was looking at this yarn and I was like, I really want to cast something on with it, but I don't know what. So it's been a very long tease for what yarn I'm actually using. So for the main color, this is the yarn that I am using. This is La Bien Aimée Merino Twist in the colorway Autumn Hydrangea, which is the exclusive colorway to La Mercerie, which is the yarn shop on Bainbridge Island here in Seattle. And this was, I purchased this at Flock, and I really love this color. I got 2 skeins of this, and so yeah, I was just like, what am I going to make with this? And then I thought it'd be really great as the main color for this tee, and I think it's working out really well. Like I really like how it's working up, and so I'm very excited. I know after this I will have to choose between seaming my gown cardigan and working more rounds of this in. Now that I'm done with the color work, I can finally work on just the main color in stockinette, and can see this color kind of just like worked up by itself, and so I'm very excited to see how that starts to turn out. But from what I can see here, like it's going to look gorgeous, I think, in this pattern. So yeah, so this is Autumn Hydrangea, and then the contrast color I'm using is actually something that I dyed up myself. This was a while ago, so I did mention this in a previous podcast probably a while ago. But so there's not really a colorway name for this, but the yarn, I can say the base, I bought it from Knit Picks. This is the Knit Picks Superwash Alpaca Sock base. And yes, and so I dyed this, and it's kind of like a blush pink, kind of like brown. Maybe you can't really see the brown. It definitely looks more blush pink, maybe even like peachy for some reason. But it's a very subtle kind of light color, but I did use like a pink and brown dye on this. And I know that the bases are very different between, what I'm using for the main color and the contrast color, because this is alpaca and this is merino nylon. But I think because it's used in such a small kind of amount, it doesn't really, to me, it doesn't bother me. And I think it looks fine and it feels fine work together. And so that was pretty exciting. This is the first time I am using yarn that I have dyed myself, and so that's also exciting to use in a project. It's a very subtle color, so it's probably not like that exciting, but for me it feels exciting to use a yarn that I've dyed myself, I guess. So, and I think it works out really well. I think it matches. I very heavily was influenced by the colors that Emma used in her sample, so definitely the color picking credit goes to her. I just kind of like found what was similar in my stash to make for this, but I am very happy with how it's coming out so far. And I'm very happy that now I'm done with the color work section so that I can just work stockinette. Okay, so yeah, so that is my last new cast on, my last work in progress to talk about in this video. Okay, but next, this will be, I'm pretty sure this will just be a new section in my videos, is a spinning section. So I was considering, do I put, my finished objects for spinning in the finished object section of the video with my knits, but I figured maybe it'd just be best to put all the spinning content together after I talk about my finished objects and works in progress for my knitting. So where do I start first? Because this has been really like such a fun learning process and journey, and just like the whole process of spinning has just been so relaxing and fun, and I'm just having a great time. Okay, so let me first start with, I think the last time I talked about my spinning in the last video was that I was in the middle of plying, I think, my first yarn, I guess. Also, if I say terms wrong for all of the spinning stuff, I am just still learning. I don't know how to talk about the spinning stuff, so we're just gonna like fudge through it a little bit. But I finally like washed and skeined up my first ever skein of yarn that I spun, and I think it's so cute. So this is the fiber I bought to make this was a brown BFL from Northwest Yarns, which they had a booth at Flock Fiber Festival, and that's also where I bought my small little e-spinner, my electric eel wheel. Nano, like it's the small one. And it's so precious and cute. Just look. Yeah, and so I also smells good because I did wash it. It definitely looks better after I washed it. It wasn't something I knew you had to do, so my friend Bridget gave me some tips about it, and she told me that I should wash it after I'm done spinning it. So thank you, Bridget. And yeah, so it looks really cute. It looks a lot better now that it's washed, and then I skeined it up again. It's just like a tiny skein. I really could just like stare at this all day because it's just like the cutest thing, and I'm so proud of my first spin, my first yarn. And you can tell like it's not very even. Also, it might be hard to see on camera just because like the color is kind of dark, but there's definitely some like thin spots, some thick spots, some like really like tight and ropey sections, and some really like loose and fluffy sections, but just makes it look really cute. I don't know if I'm going to knit something with this because I almost want to like keep it like this because it is my first skein, and I just like want to hang it up somewhere and just be like first hand spun skein of yarn. I still have leftover fiber from this because when my friend Bridget was teaching me how to spin with this, I kind of wanted to like learn how to ply while she was there in person, and because we were there, I only saw her during Flock or that weekend, and so I just wanted to like learn how to ply, and so I didn't finish spinning all of the fiber I had, so I still have leftover fiber that I could maybe like spin now and see like some improvement hopefully between this skein and the next one in the same fiber. That might be kind of fun to do. So for right now, this is just going to hang out and look really cute like this. I'm very happy with it. So that is this one. And then since then I have spun more yarn, and oh, it's so pretty. So after that first yarn, I was like, I just want to spin some like colored yarn because I bought some like colored fiber as well. And I was like, I really want, like that is what I want to spin, is some like fun colors and to see them all kind of like plied together. Like I want to see what that looked like. So I finished a whole braid, like one of the braids of yarn that I bought during Flock. And so this is from, I have the label just in case you like, or like, you know, just so you can see the label. Sometimes I feel like that's really helpful. So this was from artandalchemyfiberarts, and this is their like logo. And this was also BFL, and the colorway for this is Whole Latte Love, which I think is really cute. Bridget is the one who picked out this color for me as well, and I was like, yeah, they're totally my colors. And so I finished spinning all of it, and I don't know if there's like, I don't know how to talk about spinning yet, so anyway, I just like, so my first skein and this one, I did a 2-ply, if that's helpful. But anyway, let me just show you what it looks like because I am obsessed. Okay. I don't even know how to, again, I don't know how to talk about this besides just like, I can't believe I made this yarn. And it's so cute. And okay, the reason why, it's interesting because I use the same fiber, and because the electric eel wheel spinner that I have is like a small one, I couldn't like ply up everything onto one bobbin, and so I did have to split it up into 3 different ones, and so that's why I have like 3 small skeins instead of like 1 big one possibly. So, and it's interesting though that like all of them are different colors. They all of course like match and look similar or kind of like a fade, which is really cute. But I really like how this came out. I'm so happy with it. I definitely feel like you can see that I've gotten better from my first skein. There's still definitely some like fluffy sections here and there, like really thick. Some really thick sections, but even just like throughout, like I think when I was working through like this dark purple like fiber was at the beginning, so that's where there's more of like these like chunkier sections versus like these pink ones, because once I got to this section of fiber, it was towards the end, and so I think I was kind of getting better at it, and they look so cute. I really like how these came out. They're so soft and squishy. Like I'm really surprised. I guess I don't know what I was expecting, but I'm just very happy with how these came out. I don't know, I want to knit with these, I just don't know what. And I also need to look into how to measure yardage for these so that I can figure out what I even can make with them. So that's going to be interesting. I just want to like hold these up and just like admire them. But I do want to knit with them eventually. It just might not be until a while because yeah, I just need to like figure stuff out. But maybe I could, no, I don't know. I want to knit something with it. I just don't know what. If you have suggestions, let me know in the comments below because I need help. I am very new to this, but I love how this came out. I'm very happy. I want to, if I am guessing, I'm trying to figure out like, did I make like a DK weight yarn? I think some sections, obviously the really big sections are like probably more than that, but like, I don't know. I can't tell. I think it's too thick to be fingering. So maybe it's DK. But I don't know. I guess I need to measure it out and figure that out, but they're just so cute. So I'm very happy with these. And then, of course, as soon as I finished with these, I had to start my next spinning project, and so I can also share that with you all. Okay, so for this one, it is another like braid of fiber that I got from Flock Fiber Festival, and this time it is from 316 Dye Studio. This is another color that Bridget found and was like, Ariel, I think that you like this, and I was like, yes, I do. So this is, I did split this one up. So, okay, so for the previous ones, for like, you know, the previous ones I just showed that I finished, I kind of just like split them up and was spinning them with kind of I was still using it as kind of like practice and just, yeah, I didn't really have like a strategy for how I was like splitting up the fibers as far as like the colors go and how they like match together. So that was like interesting. And then for this one, I took apart the braid and then I split lengthwise in half, and then, so right now this is like 1/2 of the length, and then the other half I split into 4 lengthwise again. And so I think that this is called a fractal spin that I'm doing, maybe. So I'm just curious to see how this is going to turn out in the end. So yeah. Oh, and this is interesting because the previous 2 fibers that I spun were BFL, and this one is 100% Polwarth. And so I'm very curious to see, as I kind of like work through different kinds of fiber, like which ones I find easier to work with or ones that I like to work with over others. So this is the first time I am spinning with Polwarth. So yeah, right now I feel like it feels similar. Maybe it feels a little stickier, but I don't, again, like since the first time, I just have no idea if what I am experiencing is actually like makes sense for the fiber and what other people say about it. But it feels similar to BFL. I feel like it almost feels easier. I feel like because it seems to stick together more, that it doesn't really like break on me too much. So that's been interesting. But yeah. Oh, and did I say that the color is Desert Rose? All of these colors are totally my vibe. Like this like nice mauve, pink, brown kind of colors I just really, really like. And then I can just show you on my thing like what I have so far. I feel like that's pretty good. Just working through it right now. And I'm just having so much fun. My only problem right now is I literally just got this spinner like a couple weeks ago at Flock Fiber Festival, and I know that I like spinning, and so I eventually do want to get a wheel. The only thing is I don't know when that's going to happen. Will it be soon or will it be sometime from now? Because I don't really have that much space in my apartment for a wheel. I think I could make it work, but it definitely would just be, I need to think about it, but I do eventually want a wheel. But in the meantime, since I don't know when I'm going to get a wheel, there's a bigger, the electric eel wheel spinner, there is a bigger one. So this is the smaller one. They do have a bigger one. I'm considering also just getting this bigger one and maybe trying to, if any of my other friends are interested in spinning, I could sell them my really small one because I want to upgrade. And I think I want to upgrade soon just because I know I like spinning and I'm going to be spinning a lot. So yeah. So that is my current situation with my spinning. I hope that was fun and interesting. I am just obsessed with all of the fiber colors and hand spun yarn. Like I have fallen down this rabbit hole. I've been following so many more Instagrams on spinning, and other people that I didn't know spun yarn, I'm like noticing now, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to know more. I need to learn more. And so this has just been really fun. So I'm very excited about this. But that is all for the spinning right now. Okay. Next up is an acquisition section. And I have a lot just because I think we're catching up. That is my excuse. But there's a lot, and so I'm hoping that we can bear through this potentially lengthy video today. But I think we all like talking about yarn, right? So, although, let me first talk about something that's not yarn. If you remember from the last video, I received this maker's notebook from Making Treasures, and it's so pretty that I was like, I don't want to ruin it with my ugly handwriting and potentially like ugly notes and stuff like that. But I've decided to finally I've put some little tabs in here for the sections I do want to use, and then for right now, I am taking notes in it for my spinning stuff because there's something about handwriting that I like, and I feel like for spinning, I might like to keep my projects in a notebook versus on Ravelry for some reason. I have no idea why. Ravelry for my knitting projects I do prefer for some reason, but I think I'll keep, for now, I've put in notes for my spinning stuff in this notebook, and then eventually I also want to keep track of my yarn stash in here because I think for a goal of mine for next year, I want to try and work through a lot of my stash, and I want to be able to keep track of it somehow, and I think doing it in a notebook would be a lot more fun because I do like physical notebooks. Even though my note-taking isn't really cute, I do like the whole kind of like bullet journal vibe type of thing, so I want to make it fun for me, and so I think that that's what I will do for my yarn stash, but that is in the future. But for currently right now, I am putting my spinning notes in this notebook, which has been fun, and it's such a nice notebook. But I brought this up because I did make an order to Making Treasures when she had her store open online, and I got more, or not more, I got these little like notepads, which I hope you can see because they're very cute, and I've noticed that I do kind of like take notes on like really weird, I have some like cute like post-its, like things that are shaped in like, I think I have one shaped in an alpaca, and it's like, it's cute, but when I want to write notes, it's just like an odd shape to write notes in, and so I was like, I definitely would make good use out of like a square rectangle type of notepad, and so I got one, this bigger one, that's also like cute colors, and this one is like the dot grid type of paper, and then I got one that's like an actual grid with the squares, which is smaller and a square, and I think I'll make really good use out of this just because I do like offhand like to write notes about things, and so that will come in handy. I feel like the packaging that it came in was really cute. I got it so fast, and it also came with a bag. Look how cute this is. Like, I don't know what I'm going to put in this yet, but this came as a surprise. It was really cute, it is very cute, and then there's also a sticker. It's so cute. If you watch my last video, I also bought more stickers of this like character from the shop. So, but yeah, so that is part one of the acquisitions. And then, all right, moving on to like yarn acquisitions. I have so much, and I just like, I don't know where to start. Okay, let me first start with, okay. Let's start with Woolberry. I got in a huge Woolberry order, but first up, who else just like scrambled to get the berry linen base, the new base, and it was limited. Like she didn't have that many of each colorway, like, and it was an in-stock order. Anyway, so I grabbed myself 2 skeins of berry linen in the colorway Coral, and I remember when Coral was part of, I forget what the collection was, but one of the pre-order collections, and I got it only on Surrey, and I loved it on the Surrey. It looked so cute. I was like, it is the perfect pink on Surrey, and then I wished that I got it on different bases, and so when I saw it on the berry linen, I was like, I have to get it on the berry linen, and yeah, it also looks great on the berry linen. It's a very soft, muted pink, and I feel like it is peachy, but not that orange. I definitely like peach colors, but when it leans more pink, that is my preferred peach color, I guess. So yeah, I'm very happy with this. And it feels, so this one is 50% alpaca, 25% linen, 25% silk. So it is feeling very soft compared to the other linen I have. it feels very different. This one feels a lot softer, and I think it's because of the alpaca that's in it. But I'm curious to knit something with it because, yeah, I'm just curious to see how it works out. So I need to think patterns for this. But 2 skeins should be good enough for me to make some kind of like summer tank. So excited about these. And then okay. I got this past week in the mail. This is, again, Woolberry Meet Me by the Coast in berry tweed base. And I think that this was I forget if it was a collective colorway or, no, I think it was probably a collective colorway. And so this was probably last month or the month before that, like the colorway. I thought it looked really cute on tweed. So I'm thinking about making a rift tee with this. I think that was like my original kind of like thoughts for it, because I think I've only made one thing in tweed, but I really liked it. And so I think I've just been waiting for like a colorway that I think looks good on tweed and that I have an idea to make something with. But I was like, I have a cardigan on tweed. I want to make a tee in tweed, and so that is why I picked these. I think they look really cute. So yeah, so that is this next set. And then moving on to like a full collection acquisition. So I got in, this happened like right before Flock, I got in my Caboose collection from Woolberry. So we're going to talk about everything that I got in it. And I'm hoping that, I didn't double check, I'm pretty sure it all fit in the bag that I got from the collection. It's so cute. This little, I think it's a bear. It's so cute. I just had to get the bag. Okay, but let's just get started with the yarn. I was also very tempted to cast on something with this yarn, but I waited. But I don't know how much longer I can wait. Okay, but now I will have talked about it, so then we'll all be good. We'll all see the skeins, and then I can cast on. So the first set of yarn that I got is Corgi Caboose on the Berry Sport base. And, well, this is 2 skeins. I got more skeins because I am planning on making, I need to look at my notes. I'm planning on making, the Traveler Hoodie by Andrea Mowry. And yeah, when I saw that hoodie pattern, I knew I wanted to make it. And so it's one of those things where it's like, you know exactly what yarn and pattern you want to make when the pattern comes out, but if you're buying yarn from pre-order, you have to wait until you get the yarn from the pre-order. So very excited that these are here. This could be something, this is the one that I'm considering casting on like pretty soon. So yeah, I bought more skeins, but I am only holding up 3 just because I think that's good enough to see how that colorway looks. And yeah, I think what's really interesting is the black sections on this make it kind of look like it's a tweed base, which I'm very interested to see how that works up. So yeah, I like how this color came out. And then, I want to like put these back in the bag when I'm done, but I have to set them down for now. Okay, then the next what I got is some Rabbit Rump on Berry Decay, which look like this. It's very soft white color with just like kind of like blue grays in there and some like blue black speckles. And I am planning on making the Calm Down cardigan. Yeah, the Calm Down cardigan with my friends in my knit group. I think a lot of us bought, or not a lot, a few of us bought some yarn from this collection to make the Calm Down cardigan, and so I am planning on making it with this, and I hope it looks really cute in this like soft kind of speckled colorway. And so I got skeins for that. Kind of a lot of skeins. It's a lot of yarn for this cardigan. And yeah, I think I got 7 skeins. So we'll see how that turns out. And then what else? I got, okay, yes. Oops, the tag fell off. Ooh. I really like how this colorway looks, and I kind of wonder if I should have chose this colorway for one of the cardigans or the traveler hoodie, but I got sheep seat, which is, there's no speckles in this one, and so it's just a very soft, like muted. It looks like a brown gray, not a blue gray, like these strips of colors. So I like how this looks. I only got 1 skein of the Berry Cozy Sock Base, which is the 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. And so this could easily just be like some socks or something, or like some kind of like cropped tank or something. And then I also got, this was me trying to be, not buy so much yarn, was just get 1 skein of some of the colors. And so I also got 1 skein of Hummingbird Honey in Berry Merino. Just because it's a pink, and so I kind of had to get it because it was really pretty. I really like these like golden, orange, red sections that kind of like pop out in here. I think it looks really pretty. So I got 1 skein of that. And then I could not resist this. I did, of course, get some Surrey. I thought this looked really cute in Surrey, and I'm very happy with how it looks in person as well. I got Bear Buns in Surrey, and it's just this really cute, like brown with some, it's a variegated, mostly brown, dark brown with some like golden spots and some like darker, I can't tell if it's like a gray or like a green, like this part looks green over here, but I just really like how this looks, like brown Surrey for some reason. So that's exciting. Also, the name is so cute, Bear Buns. Okay, I'm trying to stick this back in the bag. And then I also got the mini set because all of the colors together. This is me trying to not buy sweater quantities of like every color. So I just get mini skeins so I can at least have like the color in some kind of quantity. And they all looked really cute together. And then the way she split it up in the mini skeins is also cute. Yeah, so anyway, got the minis. This would be good for stripes or for anything. At this point I do kind of have a good set of minis, and so I probably should stop buying minis. But I think there's some projects that I have in mind to use minis for, so those would just be ready to go on hand for when I decide to cast those on. Okay, so that was the Caboose collection from Woolberry, and then I have this one. I am always excited about my pre-orders because that's why I buy from them, but this one I am particularly love. So I bought from the Big Little Yarn Co. Studio Ghibli pre-order a few months ago, and it came in and I was blown away by how the colors look in person. Like, they are so good and I love them so much. And so I have already talked about one of them because I casted it on immediately because I just had to, but I'll show it to you in a skein now. So this is, again, Big Little Yarn Co. This is Maggio in the Superwash Merino DK base. It's the one that I am knitting the best vest in. And yeah, it just looks great. It has so much depth in the color. And overall, great. Feels good. It's a superwash merino, and yeah, I'm just really enjoying working with it right now. It's a good purple. Okay, and then, okay, so there were a lot of colors that I really liked in this collection, and then, of course, the movies, like, I love Studio Ghibli movies, and so I had, thankfully, although, okay, all the colors she made were really pretty, but especially for the movies I love, I really was glad that I liked the colors for, so, oh yeah, so this purple was one of the colors for the Kiki's Delivery Service movie. And then, okay, I will start with these because this one was the ones I was the most excited about. Also nervous because sometimes, you just never know how a colorway will look in person compared to like pictures online. This one, I was hoping that I was going to love it as much as I saw it in pictures, and it honestly looks even better in person. So I'll just hold these up. These were the two colorways for Spirited Away, and it's so good. So I would start with the one that's the most obviously like my color. Oh, this came out so pretty. I got 2 skeins of the Superwash Merino Fingering base in the Reikai colorway, which is just all beautiful colors and blends of pink, purple, blue, and it's just really a soft color. I love this color so much. Like, it's so cute. It's so good in person. It's beautiful. I'm very happy to have these. And then I also got the Empty Restaurant. This one also, I think it matches this movie so well. Like, all of these colors. Of course, I love it because of the pinks, but like just the combination of the dark blues and like the slight like teal, if I can even say that. Is it teal? I mean, there's lighter blues, darker blues. Some like, is that like brown, orangey brown? Like, I just really like the blend of colors in this. It's gorgeous. I had an idea to use these together in a moonless pullover. It is the long sleeve, like, it's like the Moon Crush tank, but long sleeve. And then it's moonless because it's just like one, there's no like, what is it called? What is the technique called? There's no, those circles. It doesn't have the circles. It is just like a plain front and back. Each are done on a different color, and the sleeves are also like the opposing color or they're both different colors. And I was thinking about doing that for this, but after seeing these in person, I kind of want them on their own for something, and so we'll have to figure that out. Again, I got each of them 2 skeins of fingering, and so they can make me some kind of like top, like a tank top or a tee of some kind, and so we have other yarns to knit through before deciding on patterns for these, but they're just so gorgeous that I want to make sure that they fit in a proper, something I really like pattern-wise. So those are those 2 colors, and then, okay. These 2 colors were from Howl's Moving Castle, which I think if I had to choose, I maybe like Howl's Moving Castle might be my favorite Studio Ghibli movie, even though like I grew up watching Spirited Away. Like, I have memories of watching that as a kid and like during sleepovers. And same for Kiki's Delivery Service. Like, I love that movie too, although I think back then, I would say I think I like Spirited Away more, even though it's possibly just like a little scary. Like, I don't think it's scary, but it's kind of a little weird, I guess. But I really like Spirited Away. Kiki's Delivery Service I always liked, but I think for some reason nowadays it's one of my favorites. But Howl's Moving Castle, I don't think I've watched it as a kid for some reason, but when I watched it eventually. I don't know when was the first time I watched it. I loved it. I love it so much. So I think also the music in it is great. The music in Spirited Away is also great, and just whenever I hear the music from actually any of the Studio Ghibli movies, I'm just like, it gets something inside of me. Like, it's so nostalgic, and I just love the music. But House Moving Castle, I just love. So anyway, had to get the yarn for House Moving Castle, and thankfully, they're also, like, I would say my colors. So I already have plans for I want this to become a half and half triangles wrap because, okay, so actually, which colorway do I start? Okay, let's start with this. Merry-Go-Round of Life. Both of these are in the Superwash Merino fingering base, 2 skeins of each. So I got Merry-Go-Round of Life, which this one I think looks way better in person. There's just so much colors in this, and it's speckly, and I can see the movie in this. It could just me be like imagining it, but like I can see the movie in this. It just feels like water. It's like watercolors of the colors in the movie, and I just really like it. I really like it. I feel like on camera it's not doing it justice for some reason, but I think it's gorgeous. It's so pretty. And then I had to get this color, and this color also looks so good in person. This is Howl's Coat, which is this red. Okay, there is so much depth in this color versus like what I saw on the pictures in a good way. Like, I really like how this looks in person. I want to say, like, it's not a solid color, but even on camera it looks slightly solid, but there are definitely like sections of like a goldish kind of color running through, and I think that makes it look so pretty. And it's really pretty. I don't know, there's something about this color that's just like, it's really pretty. How did she do this? Like, now that I am dyeing my own yarn, or trying to dye some yarn, I'm like looking at these colors and I'm like, how did they do this? So anyway, because this is called Howl's Coat, and I also wanted the other color for the House Moving Castle. And I've mentioned this, I know that I said this in a previous podcast episode when I was like ordering this, that I wanted to make a half and half triangles wrap because it's like a shawl, and then I could use these 2 colors together, and also because so I like watching these movies both in the Japanese, like the original Japanese version, and also the English dubbed versions, because honestly, I think the English dubbed version of these are really good. So, but anyway, in the English dubbed version of House Moving Castle, I love the part where Sophie is like getting onto House Castle, and her shawl like flies off, and she goes, "Oh, my shawl!" Like, I don't know what it is, but I find it really funny. And so I just want to make a shawl with this yarn. That might be like crazy reasoning, but I think that that's really cute and it makes me really happy. So that is the plan for these. Also, if you haven't noticed, or because this is just I think the only second like color pairing of yarn that I've shown that I want to do a half and half triangles wrap, my plans for half and half triangle wraps seem to be, and on purpose, like one color is a really like variegated yarn and the other is more of like a solid color, and I think that, I don't know, I think I like that combination. So that makes me very happy. This might be like, once I'm done with my current half and half triangles wrap, this might be like the next one that I cast on. It's just really cute. Okay, and then, okay, the last 2 colors. I'm also like checking around to make sure. Okay. Oh, and we're blurry. Okay. I also really wanted to get the colorways for Totoro, for that movie, and thankfully, again, they're colors that I really like, and it was really cute pink, and yeah, so I got 1 skein of each, because this was also me being like, let's just get 1 skein. Let's not go crazy and get 2 of each. even though I really like them. So this one, the variegated one, is called The First Encounter. I got this on the trusty sock base. So this is the one that has 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and same for the other colors. So this pink is called May, like the character, and one, they look so cute together. And I think I am like in this phase of liking green, and green and pink together I also really like. So yeah, so when I saw this in person, this one I was actually, both of these colors I was slightly like unsure about, and so that's why I did get like one skein of each just in case, because I feel like I can always make socks with them or something. But I really like how this one looks in person. And then this pink also surprised me as far as like the shade. Like I was worried it was going to be too much of like a bright pink, but it's actually, no, I don't want to say that it's not accurate to the picture, but because it does look like the picture, but it is just slightly darker, or a darker shade of pink. Like it's actually a really nice, it's a nice pink. It's like a sophisticated, that's like too strong of a word, I feel like. It's a nice pink. I was worried it was going to be too bright and not like wearable, I guess, but I actually really like this pink. And together, they're very cute together. So I am very happy that I got both these skeins. Basically, all the colors in this collection I love them even more in person. And so it's just all around happy vibes opening this box and just imagining all the things that I could make with it. And so very, very happy with this yarn purchase, this collection. And I cannot wait to cast on more with this yarn. So I think that is it for acquisitions. I do have a few more things to share because, again, we're catching up. I think this video is getting long because my camera battery died in the middle. I did not mention it. I just like switched it. Hopefully I can like cut the video in the right spot. But my camera battery did die. So we're going to wrap this up pretty quickly now. And I did want to mention, since I brought up like how I'm dyeing yarn, and I think I've mentioned it before, I'm pretty sure, oh my gosh, I cannot recall if I have shown in a video like my latest yarn dyeing. And so if this is a repeat, I very much apologize, but I'm very happy with the results of these, so I will just show them. I was pretty convinced before I started filming that I did not talk about these, but now I'm a little concerned that I already did. So bear with me if I already did, but I'll make it quick. So these are just a few things that I have dyed most recently. It has been maybe like a month though since I've dyed these, so it has been some time, but I'm very happy with them. I haven't like knit with them yet, but we're just like seeing how things turn out. So these are just like some colors that I have tried experimenting with, and then I've also dyed Surrey for the first time, and so this is the result of my Surrey dyeing. I dyed some pink Surrey, although maybe it looks more purple, more of a purpley pink. It is, so this is a sock. I think there's some nylon in this one, so I forget what percentage, but this is like your normal sock yarn, and then I tried to dye the same color on Surrey. So it is pink, but it might actually be turning out more like lavender. It looks more purpley, but I still really like this color, and so I dyed 4, and I'm planning on making this into a cumulus blast for myself. So we'll see how that kind of all goes out. But yeah, so that's my quick just show and tell of some of my yarn dyeing experiments. And then I do want to finally end the episode by giving a shout out to my friend. Okay, so I've also wanted to talk about this for a long time, but there's just been a lot of things happening since then. But my friend Meghan created a knitting podcast on YouTube recently, and so she has 2 episodes out right now. I believe that she is planning on uploading weekly as well, and so I will have her like YouTube mentioned down below so you can check it out. But it is, her YouTube is a naughty mess with underscores in between, and that's also her Instagram handle as well. So yeah, I very much enjoy her podcast episodes, and I think she's great. She has a lot of insights and a lot of like great color choices for her, like the patterns that she chooses. And then she does a lot of test knitting. She does a lot of knitting as well, which is like I also vibe with. And then she also has a great yarn wall behind her, and it's just so fun to look at. So definitely check her out. And then I also want to show on here, she did gift a whole bunch of our knit night friends these, I forget what it's called, but it's like this stitch. It's like a row counter, but it's like a stitch, what is it called? Like you can hang it on your needles as you work through the, like your rows or your rounds. And it's just so cute. Like she made these, like I was impressed. And it's just so cute. There's a little sheep. I love sheep. And then a little pink flower. And so thank you, Meghan, for this as well. And yeah. Okay, this video has gone on for a very long time. I need to figure out something. Format. I'm hoping that format for this video is okay to continue as far as like spinning, like where all of my spinning stuff will be. It'll just be like in between my knitting stuff and then before acquisitions. And I think that this was probably just a long video because I had a lot of acquisitions at the end. And also because I've had 2 weeks worth of stuff to talk through. So we are going to end it there. If you've made it all the way through, thank you so much for watching. Oh, every time I'm like ready to sign off, I like remember more things. I totally forgot that I think the day of my last podcast was my 1 year anniversary of this podcast. Like, so it has been 1 year since I've made this podcast, which I think is crazy. I just can't believe it's been an entire year. I've had so much fun making these videos and sharing it with you all. I cannot believe that there are people watching, I guess. I still kind of feel like it just amazes me, but makes me so happy that the community is just so nice and welcoming, and you guys leave just the nicest comments in the videos. I love reading all your comments and learning about all the things you're working on, and it's just been such a great community to be a part of, and I'm just so happy about it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to even more videos, or at least not more than I'm posting, but you know, just continuing to post videos as much as I can, and to share all of my projects with you and my thoughts. And now that I'm starting spinning, like that's also just like a whole new thing, and so many things have happened since the first video, and I'm just very happy and very grateful that you all continue to watch my videos. So thank you all so much for that. I'm sorry I don't have like a giveaway or something for this milestone, but yeah, I hope you'll keep sticking along with me to watch my videos. And I feel like my voice is now starting to like give away. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I think I had some other things I wanted to chat about, but I am already kind of a little talked out today. Lots of good yarn things, but yeah, we'll probably save some life talk and other things for the next video. So with that, I hope you're all having a great day on whichever day you are watching this. And if you would like, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram handle is @arieknits, same name as this podcast. And what else? Yeah. Oh, let me know in the comments down below what you have been working on while watching this podcast, because, again, I just love reading all your comments. And I will talk to you in the next video. Bye!